I just finished watching every relevant part of the Fresh and Fit podcast when it comes to H3, okay? Like, so it's a 6 hour long podcast. I watched probably like 4.5, 5 hours of this, okay? Now, the reason that I didn't do this on stream, it's not because I'm afraid of doing a 8 hour reaction video. That would be a fun day, all right? But it's because Fresh and Fit tend to DMCA people unjustifiably, despite the fact that they watched Ethan's entire stream. So some pretty embarrassing stuff here from their perspective. But you know what? This works out. I can get a nice little shorter run through on this anyway. But still, again, it was why? Like, false copyright, whatever. It's not what we're here about. So yeah, pretty upset that I had to watch this. Ethan made me watch this. I had to do my research on this by watching this entire thing. So I can give you a little bit of a recap. And we're going to read the text messages that Myron has, and that's the taller guy, I guess the lighter skinned guy, has with the girl. That's what we're going to read through. Everything else, I'm just going to tell you what happened, okay? Now, before that, I want to say one thing. There's a couple things I do want to say. The first of which is I should have been more sympathetic to the girl's story the first time she told it. I know a lot of people are upset. I get it. I understand. I read your comments. However, based on what she said. However, we also need to understand that that's one side of the story that is wrong. Like I said, I should have been more empathetic to her in that video, while also keeping in mind that that's one side of a story. But she lied. I don't know how else to say it. And I'm not just saying, like, there's a couple misconceptions, because everybody, of course, recalling a past story, there's of course there's going to be a few inconsistencies. That's not what happened. I mean, it's incredible from start to finish. It was all a lie. This whole narrative that she never wanted to hang out with him was a lie. This whole thing where she like pressured him into doing all these things was a lie. She wanted to hang out with him one-on-one. Again, we're going to read through text messages. She wanted to hang out with the guy. He also, at the time, he was 31. She's 19. And for everybody to be like, guys, well, she's younger. He's like, okay, they're of the age of consent. Like, I mean, can we stop? You have to stop. All right. At this point, you guys are doubling down on your confirmation bias. That's the reality here. You're just doubling down on your confirmation bias. All right. If I'm not going to tell you the perspective you want to hear, you're going to click off the video. But I'm going to tell you this perspective that exists. Okay. I mean, it's insane how much information they have. They have tons of text messages. They have there's like a lie counter in the video. They're all like verifiable lies. It's like 50 or 60 by the end of the video. It's insane. And it's disgusting because, this girl told this story in a way where she tries to encourage this idea that she was, aggressed upon. We'll say assaulted, right? She says, like, oh, well, he wanted to hang out with me, a child? You're 19. Stop. You need to stop. Okay? It's a shame. It's also a shame the way Ethan handled this. If you notice when watching Ethan's video, he asks her tons of leading questions. Like, for instance, she'll say, like, oh, we were in this situation. And Ethan doesn't go, how did that make you feel? He goes, oh, did you feel upset? Oh, did you feel uncomfortable? Oh, did you feel... Leading questions. Ethan's looking for a narrative. All right? That's the reality. Okay? I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, you're just biased against Ethan. Not really that much. I do look at him through a negative lens because I know everything he does is through bad intentions. He's trying to conjure an allegation that's verifiably false. The things that she was saying about how she was pressing, Fresh and Fit, he could have just watched their podcast to do a little bit of research. So here's the problem is that, like, she told so many lies, her credibility dies. But there is a couple of things that seems to be... I know why she decided to come out and exaggerate this point to make it seem like Myron was a bad guy. It's because he is. He's kind of a scumbag. All right? The things that bother her is that everything was consensual, 100%. They went back to his place. The studio is his house, apparently. That's where he, like, lives. Right? He has a studio downstairs. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a criticism, right? But he's a dickhead, right? So he does this thing where once they get back, and it's totally consensual. Why don't we say one thing? Here's the thing. The one thing that they really did fuck up on is just the availability of alcohol and of giving it to her. Their whole perspective was like, yeah, we have alcohol at the set, and we don't encourage people to drink, but if they want, they can have whatever they want. If you know she's 19, you shouldn't be supplying alcohol to her. Irresponsible. She's still an adult, but it's irresponsible, right? That's the thing. Okay? They were all hanging out. Oh, excuse me. So anyway, it was a double date scenario. That was already established. She had interest in him. She says in these text messages that she wanted to have a one-on-one with him. Right? She goes back to his place. Here's where it gets weird, right? She was drinking at the club that they were at. Right? Her breath smelled, so he's like, "Oh, go take mouthwash." That bothered her, so she went to the bathroom. Now, at this point, they generate this narrative where she was really uncomfortable, and she felt unsafe, and she felt like he was going to do this, that. But she texts her friend, and she says to her friend, he's like, "Oh, this guy he told me I had that my breath smelled. I had to take drink out. I had to take mouthwash." And her friend goes, "Oh, are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Why wouldn't you tell your friend you're in mortal danger? I'm being serious, you know. She didn't. Then she went back out, sat on the bed with him, and they proceeded to like, you know, engage. And he lifted up her shirt, and here's where he's just coming back. He like made a comment about her boobs. Like he's like, "Oh, your tits are lopsided. It's gross." He was being a piece of shit. That's fucked up. And that's gonna like ruin her trust in relationships and just engagements forever. Listen, you don't have to like the way someone's body looks, but you're a fucking scumfuck loser for saying something like that. You know, if you don't like it, make an excuse. Be like, "Oh, I'm not feeling it. Oh, maybe I'm tired. Oh, maybe I'm this." Do whatever. But like, he's a piece of shit dickhead. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, imagine being in like a situation where you're with, let's imagine you're a dude and you're in a situation with a girl, and like you're feeling up, whatever. She touches like or she sees your dick, and she goes like, "Ew, that's it. That's disgusting." That's like the same thing. You'd be fucking mortified. You would carry that for a long time. That would fuck you up. Right? That would really fuck you up. So he's a scumbag for that. That being said, her response was disproportionate. You know, from the jump, she was like, "Oh, you know, you're attracted to a child, this, that, and the other thing." There were things that she could have done better and he could have done better, but he didn't sexually assault her in any capacity. She got really angry and upset because he made an inappropriate comment about her body. That's what happened. That's what happened. Like I said from the beginning, based on the way she told the story, I should have been a little bit more contextually accurate. You know, for instance, the way that she was like, "Oh, he lunged at me," you know, and I was like, "That's not an assault." It is, right? And that's the nuanced conversation. If that had happened, which I mean, I can't believe that it did, because she lied like 60 times. I'm not even kidding. And it's just, there's so much here that she misrepresented. Even if there's truth there, she lied so much. I mean, it was insane that her credibility shot. But yeah, that would be a form of assault because she didn't want it. You know, and that's the nuanced conversation about how, like, you know, we should have conversation. It's part of hookup culture where you're testing each other's boundaries, and it like can become very messy. And this is why I always advocate, like, ask to kiss. Ask, you know, be like, "Hey, can I kiss you?" Like, it's not going to turn a girl off. People are like, when I make this point, guys are like, "Oh my God, you're so wrong. Girls will be so turned off." No, because you're a fucking beta male. Okay, I've never had a problem asking a girl like, "Hey, can I kiss you?" You can do it in a sexy way. If you can't, then that's just you fucking problem. I don't know what to tell you. You know, you can create a comfortable space for girls to say like, "No." Okay, you're not gonna, if she's not gonna have sex with you because you said, "Oh, can I kiss her?" Then she wasn't gonna have sex with you. So cope. Okay. Anyway, if that was the case about that scenario, this would be a nuanced conversation about, like, you know, the way the sexual assault culture happens. Where, like, all the signs are there that you don't know somebody's attracted to you, or you may perceive it that way, but you may miss the mark, and that's why you should ask for consent beforehand and create these comfortable environments, right? Because she may not have wanted it, but like she may have given the signs that she might have wanted it, but you should still make sure, right? And that's what I should have said in the original video, but. So frankly, it doesn't really matter now because none of that was true. So let's read through the comments, or rather, let's read through this. Now, it's weird. It starts here, and then at the end of the video, they kind of like show the whole thing. So we're going to be able to watch But it's like, this is where it starts. They start here. If you see it down here, the little clicker, they start like 3 seconds. He screen recorded the entire conversation. So here's how it starts. Now this is after she had said that he got the wallet, that he forced her to give the number if she wanted her wallet back. And here's where it starts. She actually texts him first. This is from his perspective. So she says, yo, don't steal my wallet now, because they left the wallet in the car. So this is what happened. They left the wallet in the car, and they wanted them to bring it to him, like them. They wanted Fresh and Fit to bring the wallet to them instead of them going and getting it themselves. Like they that's what happened. They could have went and got it themselves. They wanted them to go bring it to them. So that's what happened. So anyway, she says, yo, don't steal my wallet now. Haha, don't worry. Carhartt isn't my, I'm an old boomer. Carhartt isn't my style. Don't be a hater, she says. You can never rock a beanie like me. Then he says, you look like Tim Pool. She sends him an emoji of a monkey. Then with an arrow up says, is this you? He says, I don't have tits though, and sends Tim Pool. That's where we are here. Then he says, yo. And then she says, oh, look at my twinsy. Let me just make sure. I don't want to do it too fast. I'm a very old boomer, so. Look, and then she says, my bad, I've been sleeping all morning. He goes, haha, want to come through and kick it for a bit? Me and Izzy have plans, but we'll see each other tonight, right? This doesn't seem like she doesn't want to see him, with the way that she made it seem like. It's really frustrating, because like this is one of those things where like this assassinates the conversation. Do you know what the reaction from men is? Never listen to women. You want to know why? Because of this. But you have, and like I'm telling to a lot of you young men, you have to not have the reaction of like, oh, all women are liars. What you need to do for yourself is you need to make sure that like when you talk to a girl, that you create a comfortable environment for them to say no, but then you also like you maintain receipts. I know that sounds, you just have to, because like, dude, I mean, I think most women who make these claims are being truthful about their experience, but like you can't afford that. You can't afford to not be careful. But like this is gonna hurt the conversation now about women who come forward because of this piece of shit woman and this fucking scumbag H3. All he had to do was watch that podcast episode to confirm some of the information. It's a very serious allegation. It's fucking crazy. You could listen to her story and say, that's interesting, and just listen to listen. You could argue that it might be irresponsible, but you could have done that, but you didn't. You could have done that. You could have reached out to Fresh and Fit. They could have supplied you stuff. You could have just listened, but instead he led the conversation. He kept asking leading questions. He wanted this to be sexual assault. And to everybody in the comments, like, he never implied that. Shut up. You have to stop telling me that I'm biased, but he literally fucking says it. They're shaping it from the start. Her, like, right off the bat, she goes like, I'm just a child. Shut the fuck up. You're fucking assassinating these conversations for people. It's disgusting, frankly. It's fucking disgusting. You guys on the internet want to be like, oh my god, 1931. Like, yes, I think it's immature. Immature doesn't mean it's fucking illegal, and it doesn't mean it's morally wrong. You guys want it to be that way. You're doubling down on your confirmation bias. That's all you guys are doing. You guys gotta fucking, like, retract from here. Because the more you guys jerk this fucking off and validate Ethan's dumb bullshit fucking feeling that he did the right thing, the more wrong he's going to do. That's what's going to happen. You're partially responsible for the irresponsible nature of Ethan, okay? You guys need to fucking stop. Because this is fucking, it's enraging. This is enraging. It's fucking insane. Anyway, he says, I'm not sure. I hit up Fresh, but I haven't heard back. That's why I just hit you up direct. And she goes, okay. If only we didn't have plans for the day. I can ask Isabella to text him. He goes, don't sweat it. What time you guys done with your day stuff? She says, I'm thinking around 7 or 8-ish. You should add the Jeopardy song to the soundboard. So she's mentioning that to him for like the Fresh and Fit podcast. So she's apparently, it seems to be a bit of a fan. He goes, haha, you enjoying it? Because they're working at this moment. Then she says, it was definitely an interesting one. Sorry, they're just like skipping through these. How do you feel about them breaking out into song before the show? Haha, he goes, haha, my hair is gone. What you doing? Come get sushi with me. I don't even know what that was in reference to. And she goes, unfortunately, I've never had sushi before. He goes, okay. They have hot food too. She goes, but tomorrow I got to be up early, drive Izzy to the doctor's. But what are you doing tomorrow night? Again, showing interest. Where she was like so adamant about, I never wanted to hang out with this guy. Like, what are you doing? What is happening? And you know that she's educated on this, because it's not like she forgot and she was recanting the scenario. She cut text messages up and sent them to H3. She has the fucking text. She could have just looked back and be like, oh yeah, I was trying to hang out with the guy. She lied on purpose. I don't know what to tell you. It ruins her credibility. I don't know what to tell you. He goes, what time do you have to be up? She goes, 10 a.m. You flaked today? So it sounds like I guess he flaked on her. He goes, we had a lot of work to do, 2 shows and recording content for Cameo. Me and you probably got to hang one-on-one. LOL, schedules are too crazy. That's what he says to her. She goes, I get it. Then she goes, you guys really made some amazing progress in such a short amount of time. I'm down to hang one-on-one before I leave Saturday. We should go out to eat. She says that she never wanted to hang out with him. Thanks. I just finished getting a haircut. Down for food? ? And he goes, yo. And she goes, hey, yo, I'm exhausted right now. He goes, yo, what you doing? She goes, just left, I don't know, Novakova. I don't know, some fucking place with Izzy. Apparently it's a pretty upscale bar or something. Okay, hold on. We're going a little too fast for my old boomer brain. He goes, yeah, we are doing our second show shortly. She goes, I'll tune in. He goes, just got done. Free tomorrow? She goes, went to bed super late, so I've just been chilling. He goes, same. I just woke up, shake my head. You free to link? I was going to get food, but I'm starving, so I'm just going to go. Oh, my God. Going so fast. Then she goes, Izzy just got home from work, and we're chilling right now. I don't want to leave her like that. Can Walter come with us? What happened to the double date Walter told me about? So she's asking about this double date with understanding that it's a double date. I mean, come on. Then he goes, I'm not sure what Walt is doing. You can leave your friends. You can't leave your friend's side. And then he puts this laughing emoji. She goes, what are you planning on getting to eat? So what this seems to be is that she doesn't want to leave her side in a way where she wants to be with her as a friend. Like she doesn't want to like dodge out on her, but she does want to hang out with him. So she just doesn't want to like leave her. It doesn't seem like she's like, oh, I need to stay with her. I'm afraid of you. It's not at all. Then he goes, I was going to get something here in Brickell, I think. We have a lot of good spots. I need to an answer, though, because I'm starving and I don't want to wait. If you can't leave your friend, it's totally cool, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry as fuck. He goes, AF. Just for you young kids. So, you know, I said as fuck. For the old people watching. Yeah, I came out to see her for the week, but tomorrow she's working 2 to 6, so I want to get lunch tomorrow. Right, so she's just trying to spend as much quality time as she wants, but she wants to hang out with him as well. Let's actually plan something so it's not spontaneous. We kind of like sounds okay. All right. Sorry, just get okay. Well, if I make plans, are you going to be a big girl and be able to leave with a laughing emoji? She says I've always been a big girl. Just want to make plans where I'm not ditching my homegirl. Then he goes, okay, we can hang tomorrow. Meet me at my place. Then she goes, I woke up at 30 minutes ago and hopped out of the shower. You called me at the worst time. Do you want to hang? So we're establishing like, hey, you want to hang out at my house? There's no narrative where she was so uncomfortable. It's fucking incredible. Then he goes, you can finally leave. If you think you can handle me, you can come over, right? Now, Myron Gaines said that this was a water tester, and I get it. Like, we've all been there. Like, I fucking texted girls with something that was a little risque, so you can gauge their response. Pretty normal interaction. She goes, handle what? ? Exclamation point. I'm hungry as a motherfucker, so how about we go out to eat? Let me know if you're a yay or nay. He says, you leave tomorrow? You can come by the show tonight if you want. I just woke up and we going live now. Then, holy moly, that went a little too fast. Sorry, what is happening here? Sorry, I'm a little. Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow. I would be going out tonight to Vendome. I think it's another bar or whatever. I think she was the one that was going to the bar. I guess he was going to meet her there. Sorry, I'm just having like trouble trying to get this to go farther. Okay, are you able to break away from your friend tonight after the club? Right, so she's going to the club. Depends on how late I'm out because I got to catch my flight. I think Walt told Izzy he's heading to Vendome after the show. Why don't you come out with us? So they're going to the club. Apparently Walt has connections. He gets to he chills at the table. He doesn't really pay for anything. Whatever. So they went out with him. Now again, you could be like, well, I don't like the fact that she's 19. She shouldn't be drinking. Yeah, sure, I agree. But the club's letting her in. I don't know what to tell you. She's an adult and she's making a bad decision. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, are you there? And I know people are going to be like, yeah, but if she was drunk, so she can't. You can still consent when you're drunk, unless you're like blackout drunk, which she wasn't. She was able to type coherent messages. So stop. Not everything is fucking predatory. You need to stop. I know what you guys are thinking. I know you guys are like, I gotta figure out a way to do mental gymnastics to double down on my confirmation bias, because it's like, yeah, there are things that are inappropriate. Like she shouldn't be drinking. I get that. Okay, doesn't mean that like this is a predatory maneuver. Okay, people in the real world drink before they're 21. They shouldn't, based on our law set, but they do, and she's an adult, and the club isn't stopping her either. I don't know what to tell you. It's not ideal. It's not fucking predatory. Okay. Anyway, he goes, are you there now? She goes, yeah, of course. How was the show? Are you guys coming? He says, I just got off air. And she says, how was it? It was good, he says. Everyone just left. I'm starving. Do you want me to pick you up to get food? So it seemed like he wanted to go out to get food. She didn't really want to do that. Just give me a moment, guys. She goes, my bad. I didn't see your text. I'm still here at Vendome. Are you down to come here for a bit and get food after? He goes, I hate clubs. Big waste of time. I could pick you up and we can get food. So he doesn't even seem to like, the drunkenness. He doesn't seem to like any of that stuff. He just wants to go out to eat and hang out, right? Anyway, she says, my bad. I didn't see your text. I'm still here at Vendome. Are you down to come here for a bit and get food after? He goes, I hate clubs. Oh, wait, big waste. We already read that. Sorry, the fucking thing is insane. The way that they're just cycling back and forth with the text. She says, I feel like clubs are fun. This is after he says, I can pick you up and get food. She says, I feel you. Clubs are fun and all, but it's not for me. But it's my last night with Izzy, and she's trying to have me stay. Then he goes, they are a waste of time for men, great for girls. So back to the high value male bullshit, right? I think I said this earlier. If I didn't, I'm going to say it now. It's very cringe. His ideology is cringe. Doesn't make him a predator, right? She goes, regardless, if I was a guy or a girl, I doubt I would enjoy myself. Okay. Then he goes, you've been with Izzy all week. I know she can find a guy to leave with, LOL. She goes, I know, but I want to spend my fun time with her. Fun time. Right now because she doesn't want me to leave. Okay. Then he goes, that's fine. I'm working out right now. Or he goes, I'm working right now. When will you be done? She goes, I'm not sure yet, but my flight is 6:20 p.m. tomorrow. But NJ is dealing with a bit of a snowstorm, so I'm going to push my flight to later. So she's going to stay a little bit longer. Then she autocorrects. Oh, with a big snowstorm. Sorry. The club closed at 5 a.m. She goes, are you down to get food in 20? Wait, just he's leaving in 20 with Izzy. Okay, so we've established they're leaving. Okay. Then he goes, okay, cool. Is Wait gonna bring you to Brickle and I can get you? Oh, is Walt. Sorry. A little bit blurry. Walt is fresh. Walt said he'll bring me to Brickle. Then he goes, okay, cool. Let me know when you're here to where to pick you up from. KK, on my way right now. Wow, it doesn't really sound like they trapped them. It doesn't sound like they methodically split them up at all. It doesn't sound like this predatory fucking interaction that Ethan and her insisted happened. It just sounds like it doesn't exist. It sounds like it was all fucking bullshit. She seems pretty eager to hang out with this guy. Now again, keep in mind, for context, he's a piece of shit to her when he lifts up her shirt and he makes criticisms about her body. He could have just been like, oh, I'm tired. He could have said whatever, but he decided to be disrespectful as possible. That makes him a scumbag, not a predator. Makes her a worthless piece of shit for lying about a predatory interaction. Because very clearly, we see nothing but lies. And this is just one part of a fucking 6-hour podcast. Probably like 4.5 of it are actually relevant. So like this, I've already watched the whole thing. Like you go watch, you're not going to. You should. I watched it. I cringed. And then I also got pretty pissed off about this girl. They show a ton of information. Like I'm just relaying to you that because you're not going to want to watch it. All right, so she goes, on my way right now. Then he goes, I don't know if yesterday was planned with you and Izzy, but it wasn't cool. I really didn't think you were that type of girl. Very disappointing. So this is after they do their whole thing where they hung out. All right, this was after. They hung out in their little thing. Whatever. This is after he like was a piece of shit and like criticized her body, and that's why she got upset. So like, honestly, she should have left, and she did. Like, good for her for leaving. But there wasn't like any danger. She was very clearly, based on all the information we have, he's much more credible than her with like actual receipts. She got really upset and offended, which is totally justifiable feeling. But then she constructed this narrative to try to get back at him. That's the most logical thing that happened. There would have to be a fucking, I don't know, some kind of a magical Hail Mary situation to like change that narrative, because like there's literally no way. So she left. As far as him not wanting to take her home, it was like a mile away, and she could have like walked. That's what he said. Whatever. Listen, you guys know what I said. Like, you should bring somebody home if you take him out, even if you don't get the sex you want. Whatever. You can disagree or agree with that. Doesn't really matter. Thing is that it, this whole narrative where she's like, "Oh, I was really afraid of him," and then the next sentence basically is, "Oh, but he refused to take me home." Not trying to be an asshole. If you are so afraid of him, why do you want him to take you home? It doesn't really make sense to me. It doesn't really add up, And then again, in her text message to her friend, she says like, "Oh man, he made me drink Listerine or whatever. What an asshole. Oh, he sucks." And then she's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And her friend is like, "You okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." And then she wants him to bring her. It doesn't add up. Anyway, she says, "So what exactly is that type of girl? And what do you think could have been planned between me and Izzy? If I can't get an explanation what that type of girl is, then don't label me as that." I don't know what any... Okay, there we go. And then he goes, "You know what you did?" She says, "I actually don't, so please enlighten me." And he goes, you can come over and talk, and we can talk about it." Then she goes, "What makes you think I would come over after you saying I had possibly planned something and then saying I know what you did?" He goes, "Not to my apartment. I was going to meet in the lobby and talk about it." Did you not just read what I said? Holy fucking Christ. Sorry, I'm just trying to skip forward. You're also texting me in a rude way and childishly saying you know what you did, but won't exactly explain what that meant or what you think I'm planning, and disregard my question as to what that type of girl is. Meant, because I honestly want to know. And then she says, "Exactly, you can't call me on anything because you're quiet. Don't project your anger onto me because I didn't want to have sex with you." And then he just goes, "Who's this?" Like, whatever, like immature shit, obviously. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. There's not a whole lot else to say. Wait, is there more? Yeah, no, I think that's it. That's it. That's the last interaction. So there's literally nothing else to say. He says, "Who's this?" Yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, listen, man, like I said, this was a fucking train wreck. This whole thing happened. We watched the H3 podcast. It seemed like she had a mission to come on and say something that was defaming of Myron Gaines, and you don't even need to, because he's already an idiot. Just kidding. He's already a fucking asshole, though. And instead of telling her real story, which was like, "Yeah, we hung out, I was interested in the guy, and then like he fucking like made really inappropriate comments about my body when we went to have sex," that was a real story that you could have told to show like, yeah, this guy's like a piece of shit, and he doesn't have like any respect for women. Like, imagine you're like, "Oh, dude, what's up with your hair?" Because he's thinning. You know what I mean? Like, see, that's disrespectful. You wouldn't say that. They're like, in that intimate setting. You know what I'm saying? Or if she's like, "Oh man, your dick is fucking disgusting," and you could be respectful. You could respectfully disengage and be like, "Oh, I forgot I had to do something." Blah blah blah. Get the hint, kind of a thing. That's the story she could have told. Instead, she came on starting with, "I'm a child. I was just a child." He was like he was like 37 or something, 38. I think that's what they had said. He's 31. I mean, listen, it's difficult to find his age on the internet. I get that, but like, Jesus Christ, they're building the whole bullshit child narrative, trying to make this argument that they were force feeding her alcohol. She was there to party. She was drinking a lot. Do I think that they should have let her drink at the place? No. Like, that's literally illegal. If they got arrested for that, that's fine. But like, she is an adult. I don't know what to tell you. That's irresponsible of them. Doesn't make them predatory. Then they hung out. She wanted to hang out multiple times. She even like established that. She went drinking. She went to the club herself. He didn't even go to the club. He didn't want to go to the club. She went drinking. She got drunk, right? Not drunk enough so that she couldn't text. She wasn't blackout drunk. She wasn't completely destroyed. Okay, we have to understand that just because you drink doesn't mean that like you lose your ability. Doesn't necessarily mean you lose your ability to consent. There are instances, of course, when you get too drunk. She wasn't too drunk based on these messages. Okay, she was speaking clearly. It's very unlikely that she was passed out, like blackout drunk, completely operating like a normal person, and then texting fairly well. She was drunk enough to have alcohol in her mouth that made Myron think it was gross. But yeah, they hang out consensually. They were kissing consensually from all accounts that we could tell. He made a comment about her breath smelling that made her upset. It offended her. So she went and she did out the mouthwash because she still considered sleeping with him. That's based on the logical, narrative that's being constructed through their actual evidence versus what she's saying. Then they made out again more. I doubt that he lunged on her. I just don't believe it because of like how often she's lying. She's assassinated her credibility. Okay, so if it did happen, she's lied so much about this that there's just no way to fucking believe it. They were kissing and then he lifted up her shirt, probably going for a move, and he's like, ew. He made a comment about her boobs being lopsided and like I think of her having piercings. Disgusting, disrespectful. It made her upset and she wanted to leave, right? And the thing is like, again, when she was in the bathroom, she said that she was fine to her friend, and then she wanted him to drive her home. It doesn't make sense if you think that this guy is predatory, making you uncomfortable, right? Or you think that he's going to sexually assault you. It just doesn't add up, right? So I hate to make videos like this, of course, but like, and what I mean that is like, it's, bro, like I'm not trying to sit. What I mean is like I'm not trying to sit here and invalidate her experience. Of anybody covering this, I'm probably the only person that's actually trying to cover it correctly, where like she like had an experience that really probably kind of fucked her up. She like this dude, she was making out with this guy, she was getting hot and heavy with this guy, and then he's like, ew, you're disgusting, basically. That's fucked up. That's going to leave an impression on you. Right? But most now, it's just either the Ethan perspective, where like, you were definitely assaulted. By the way, I didn't fact check anything. Or you have the reactionary perspective, like Fresh and Fit, like, oh, these bitches. Well, actually, you know what? To their credit, they even said that this doesn't validate real people who like real survivors of sexual assault. So I'm actually going to give them credit. But I know a lot of the emotional reaction from a lot of you guys watching, especially men, is going to be like, see, women are fucking liars. It's just pieces of shit. Don't allow this one case to completely jade you. When we look at these situations, though, we have to understand that there's always two sides to the story, and that we need to make sure that we follow the evidence. Okay? Because it's very harmful. False accusations are very harmful for the person that's getting falsely incriminated, but they're also very hurtful for real survivors because it invalidates them. Because not only does it cause us reaction once we find out that they're fake, but also the people making false accusations, they're weaponizing and they're trying to steal that experience, that horrible, horrific, traumatic experience from actual survivors. Okay? That's what they're trying to do. So, to Ethan, fucking shame on you, man. To that girl, shame on you too. You're disgusting. So, that's what I had to say. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down in the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.